Sci-Fi guys are on the mic to tell you everything we don't like. Yeah. Plot holes big enough to drive through. Who wrote this script? Tell me who. That green wall bleed is a major crime. Bad rendering and fake looking skin. You gotta let the real truth in. 0 out of 10, throw that budget far away. These sci-fi guys rock the mic. These sci-fi guys tell you what we like. Tearing down the screen, keeping it real. That's the deal, the way we feel.
That's right. We are the Sci-Fi Guys. I am Dave, and with me is Chad.
Yo!
And John.
When did we join Men in Black?
And Shane.
I loved it.
I loved it. I was just a little thrown off. I was ready to sing along to our normal one, and here we go.
Sorry, it was something that I was messing with doing another one for my bus one that I've got coming up, a live stream coming up. And so I was making this new stuff and I was like, oh, I should do a quick one just to be funny. Because actually, Shane and I have been texting somebody to maybe join our little band of merry men here. And, well, of course, our intro says these 4 guys, and then it has all of them. Anyway, so I was just like, literally I threw it together right before we started, so I was like, Shane, what do you think? He saw it. If I could ever get us right back on the right slide that we're going to be, was last week. There it is. Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of a last minute thing. We'll just see. I wanted to just get a kick out of it, and keep it in the back pocket in case I ever need it.
That's
so,
right.
This week, in case those of you out there in YouTube land are wondering, and audio land, that we're all like we had to text like, guys, we have a podcast this evening, and they're like, oh yeah, it's Monday, isn't it? Because we have no idea what day. The only reason I know what day of the week is this because we have Vacation Bible School this week, so I know this week. Next week, I'm going to be lost. Yeah. So,
well, I was home alone as well, so I didn't have anyone to remind me of anything, let alone that it was Monday. So I was in my own little universe.
And it's your anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And you're home alone.
Yeah. Well, I'm not anymore. They arrived right before we got on, which was also a distraction that made me forget it's today. So
they returned.
Well, it is what it is. Who picked this movie? Was it Shane? Shane did. Okay, let me move you up here.
It was me.
All right. Even though we're not really doing that much with it. Okay, the name of the movie is Oblivion. Oblivion? Yeah. That's
Oblivion.
It. Shane, give us a brief synopsis about this movie.
Okay. The year is 2077. Jack Harper is a drone repair technician, and he is going out to repair these drones because Earth was under attack from what they assumed was aliens, and they are harvesting resources so that they can go to Titan to join the rest of the humans that have been there. Well, in doing this, he suddenly finds out that everything that he knew is not what he knows. And is Titan even a real place? Are the people he's working for aliens? Is he even who he thinks he is? We will find out as we discuss.
And we'll go ahead and throw this out there now. If you guys don't know this by now, these are all spoilers. We're going to talk about this movie. So, if you want it spoiler free, bye-bye.
Don't
watch
the show today. Go watch the movie, then come back and watch our show. Yep. Actually, I do that with those Sci-Fi Guys. Like they've been doing. I think right now the last one they posted was
Grogu.
Mandalorian and Grogu. So I haven't listened to it yet because I haven't seen the movie.
So it's the only thing that stopped me. I was like, man, I haven't seen it yet.
Maybe that should be something we all should do.
That's what I think. I think we should go
Not
and do
a
a live
idea.
podcast afterwards.
That would be interesting. I mean, I'm not sure I'd want to though. After 2 hours,
I'll say I'm not sure he agrees, Shane.
He does not agree. I wish he would, but I think it'd be fun.
Well, I mean, it'd be a little hard to set it up and do it live there at the movie theater, but
Well, no, we'd have to go to a location to do it.
well, I mean, if you guys want to bring your laptops, let's rock on. We'll do it.
I do it. I mean,
We'll all go to we'll all go to someplace that has good Wi-Fi.
well,
I just don't know where that would
That's
be.
the
I don't
I would
either.
say that's the tricky
I don't
part.
either. I don't
You
either.
know, where but I mean, we would all be next to each other, and we wouldn't actually have to have headphones on. We would just have to have a little microphone that picks us up.
True.
It would probably pick up each of us. So
True.
yeah. All right. What's the first agenda? Let's just discuss the movie. What did y'all think?
I was about as confused. I've even seen it, and I was about as confused rewatching it as understanding that today was Monday. So, if that just leaves you any idea of where I was with this film, I got lost, and then I found my way, and then I got lost again. Is the easiest way I know how to put it. Just getting lost in the different clones and who's clone and who's not and who's this and who's that and who's a part of the mission and who's enemy and who's not. There's a story there, but it got convoluted for me, which may just be my own stupidity, and that's fine too, but I got lost. Outside of that, I love graphically the world we built. We have some really awesome sci-fi tech in this film, some really almost I would call video game-esque world building. Like things look phenomenal. They looked really good. I mean, they looked realistic. When I say video game, it's like, a video game will set up this really immersive world, and I think they did that, and I think they did it well. Music, which obviously Shane can talk more about, I really enjoyed, especially to me, the futuristic synths. I love the building of a sci-fi world with those without overdoing it. Because, a lot of like 80s films in particular would overuse a synth just to be like, this is the future, man. So it kind of used those as a harkening back, but it didn't really overuse them, which I enjoyed. So graphically and musically, great. Whatever was going on in this story, not so much. Not so much.
Yeah, I kept thinking back to the last Tom Cruise movie we watched, Live, Die, and Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah, I was thinking of the new name, and it just so many of the similarities between the two. I did think this one was visually much sharper and much better. And it's funny. I knew. I was like John at the very beginning. I was like, okay, this is an interesting story. All right, I get this. And then the second time they said, whatever her name was, the Captain Peggy or whatever, or I can't remember what it was, where she was like, are you guys still a good team? Are you still an effective team? When she said it the second time, I was like, okay, something's off here. And that's when I knew. That's when I was like, okay, wait a minute. This is not right. This doesn't make it. Is that just a complete computer? I was thinking it was AI. It was a complete computer simulation, because I'd never seen the movie. And, I was just like, okay, are they really the aliens? And they're just kind of making them think that we're, what it was. But I had no idea about the whole cloning thing until, that halfway through when he was like, and I was like, why aren't you allowed in the radiation zone? And I was like, you've got a ship and all that. It should, take care of you for a little bit. And then I don't know if did you guys notice at the end, it wasn't there wasn't an after credit scene, but the very last, when they were doing all the trailer, all the cast and all that, it actually showed the map of everything and how everything was blocked off. It was kind of a neat, like, little Easter egg. So you could see, like where 49 was, then you could see 52 was right over here. Then you had 50, then you had 51, and then each of them was blocked off like that. So, I mean, how many clones? I mean, they said 1,000 of them came off,
Mm-hmm.
So
You saw when we went to the ship up there, you had 1,000. You had more than enough to go again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Thing is, I agree
I
with
don't know
John.
what. Go ahead.
I agree with John. The graphics and the music was fine. The storyline, I remember it. It didn't catch. I didn't really follow along till I get lost a lot. This is a good type of thing of, hey, you need to pay attention or you'll lose yourself, or you can't just put it on the background and just kind of let it go, because you got to try to follow along what's going on.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of when you think about movies like this, to where there's confusion in the storyline, and it poses questions, and then later on it answers questions, and kind of poses more, answers them throughout, that kind of thing. It seemed like we needed just a little bit more time for it to answer some of these other questions, and it just kind of left us on a cliffhanger. When you're talking about the clones and things like that, because I felt like they did do a good job of about halfway to about mid halfway of answering some of the questions, like that they were married and different things like that, and that there are clones and things like that. But then it just kind of stopped, and we're like, but what about the other things? Like how many clones are there? How many different sectors are there? All these kinds of things. I think it could have went a little bit further with that, but it just would have made the movie longer, and I don't know if it would have made the story even a little bit more confusing. I don't know. I think they tried, but it didn't quite work.
Yeah. I got that distinct. I mean, when they started going back to the ship thing, and then I need to know who the person's name was.
Vika?
Which one?
Oh no, you're talking about on the
Sally.
Screen, Sally.
It was Sally.
Not Sally. Yeah, Sally. But then the other one. My
Vika?
keyboard is not working. Oh,
Which one? The redhead?
the redhead.
Vika.
Yeah, that's it. Oblivion cast. There we go. The redhead. Yeah. Victoria. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, when they started showing the ship, when they were on there, and then I mean, she obviously was flirting with
Big time.
with him big time. So I guess that's why the alien. What was it? An alien? Was it an AI? I mean, what was the alien?
It seemed like an AI kind of thing. Like you think about Moonfall, kind of that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a rogue
Yeah,
AI.
but did we? And that's the one thing that I guess that the story failed at, is they didn't explain. I mean, I guess that alien was it was the alien that came. When they kept saying, "Well, we won the war," and I noticed they kept repeating that. When you heard that line, "Well, we won the war, we won the war." It's like, you won the war, and everything on the planet is destroyed, and yet it's going to
And
just
you have
suck
to
up all the.
leave. You won the
Yeah,
war.
and you have to leave, and of course, I was just thinking, all right, I've watched enough science fiction where hard water is what they make nuclear weapons out of, and or different things like that, and I was like, okay, is that what they're doing with our water? Are they actually, making weapons like that and all that? So
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm like with John. I got really lost in the middle. I got really muddled. I love the helicopter thingy.
Mhm,
I thought
me
that
too.
was awesome.
Me too.
Tom Cruise apparently had some say in how it was designed, because he's a pilot himself. So he was like, at first they were like, but he was like, no, this handle needs to be here. It needs to have these buttons. This handle needs to be here. These harnesses need to be, to feel like it was a real helicopter. I really got tired of seeing the landing gear fold out and fold back every time. And I was just like, what a waste. I mean, I know it's there. I mean,
Less drag.
it's if you go back and look at a lot of helicopters, most of them don't have retractable gear because it's not needed. A helicopter doesn't fly that fast
Mhm.
to need a retractable gear, and it had a big honking ball. All right, so don't tell me about aerodynamics. I mean, it had some rounded things, but it was a big ball on the front and with the engines and all. I mean, and then you're able to rotate it around complete 360 to shoot behind you. How are you going to see anything? I just, yeah.
So it's just
Yeah, it was, again, visually, it was really neat how, like when it was landed, then he'd like to flip backward and go off of it, then do whatever he was doing. I thought the interaction between the two of them was actually pretty good too.
Mhm.
You could tell that she really cared for him, at least the clone did,
Mhm.
but he kept remembering his wife, which I'm surprised that was it just that clone did that, or was it, obviously, because again, the ending just there you go. Here's your plot hole. I mean, not plot holes. Here's your spoiler. I'm going to say it right now. The ending where 49 died and then 52 ends up coming to meet her. Yet 52 is the one that got beat up by 49. You know, and who's to say that he's going to remember all this? I
Right.
just
How is
Yeah.
their shared
Yeah.
memory between clones? How is that?
well, I mean,
If they're
yeah,
white
I mean,
and their
I mean,
shared
it's the
memory.
same DNA. Maybe the DNA just left that one particular woman.
Maybe so.
but still, they said 1,000 of him came off the ship, and were taking over and killing everybody.
Yeah, the problem is if
so
all 1,000 remember her at the same time.
exactly. So,
That's fair.
but
They
what are
had
the
to go with
chances that two of them that are literally right next to each other are the ones who do?
I
Right.
mean, 2 in 1,000, obviously.
Okay, mathematician.
Well, no,
Well, yeah.
literally, there were only 1,000 clones, so the chances were 2 in 1,000 so far. Could be higher.
Yeah, could be higher.
Percent chance? No, 0.2%
Point
chance.
0.00, yeah, 0.2% or 0.002.
So here's this, and it's I probably yeah. No, I'll wait because this thing is gonna be a plot hole. That's one of my plot holes. I don't.
Well, I mean, we're talking plot holes now. If you want to jump
All
into
right.
plot holes, just if you want to fix it later, you may have to repeat yourself. But or if you
Yeah, I don't think there's no way to fix it because at the end, again, spoiler alert if you didn't watch this movie, she has a daughter. Where did that come from? Was she expecting?
daughter was
Right,
from
what?
49 is the
No.
way I understood it.
Mhm.
No, it was
The
yeah.
daughter was from
but-
49 because it showed her and him at his cabin, and that was it. So I'm assuming it was then. Again, that's one of the things I will applaud this movie on is they didn't show any nudity or
Yeah.
anything like that. I mean, they insinuated it, in the swimming scene, and then again when they were at the cabin, but they didn't actually show anything, which I thought I applaud them. I was like,
Mhm.
that's good. All right. Well, we're at this point. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and rate this. Okay, we're going to rate this on a scale of 0 to 5 lightsabers. Shane picked the movie, so he gets to go first.
Yay. Okay. I really go back and forth on this movie. I do think there were a lot of things about this movie that were good, but I didn't feel like were spectacular. I think the music was good. I don't think it was anything that really stood out as special. I think that we'll say that I think the acting was good in the movie. I felt like the cast did a really good job with it. The story to me was a good story, and I felt like it did answer some of the questions that you had that it was posing, but I feel like there were too many questions for it to answer. And I think there towards the end, when you're talking about where the clones are finding each other and who is the real one, and is this AI versus an alien, what is it? I think there were too many questions to really answer. So all in all, I think it was a good movie, but I don't think it was anything spectacular. Would I watch it again? Yeah, I would, mostly to try to see if I could figure out some answers to some of these things. So I'm going to give it a solid 3.
All right. You give it a 3. John, why don't you go ahead and go next?
I mean, I kind of technically spoiled my rating in talking about it because there's 2 wins I give the movie, and that really comes down to my 2 lightsabers, music and visuals. That's a solid 2 to me. Because I even looking at the other rankings, which is I always kind of use for context of how I rate the movie we watched that week. I don't know. It's not as low as Coneheads or Megaforce, and so that bumps it up a little bit. But it's like it's almost too good of visuals and music to keep it at a 1.5. So I had to bump it up to a 2.
Okay. You said a 2. So, Chad, how about you?
I agree. It's just the visuals and audio was very good. The storyline, you get lost in the middle if you don't pay attention. With that saying, that kind of deducts from what I'm looking at. I was looking at a 3. It knocks it down to a 2 because I just don't. I will watch it again just because trying to get more answers. But other than that, it's a 2 for me.
2 for you. All right. And, well, I gave Edge of Tomorrow a 3. And it's not a 3. I can tell you all that. But looking back at what I've given, what I've given a 2 for, I did. What is this movie with zombies? I Am Legend. I gave a 2, which I think I'm going to end up retconning that a little bit because that was a much better movie than a 2. I gave Mad Max a 2.5. Would I rather watch this or Mad Max? I don't know. I did also Peabody and Sherman, which I didn't really care for, and I guess I can't say it was worse than that. So I will go the same. I'll go 2.5 on the rating also, knowing that I'm probably going to be retconning some stuff later on. I think I was a little too harsh early on, and now I'm paying for it here later. Okay, let's go to our next thing.
Indeed.
Indeed. That's right. We can fix it. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and... actually, I was supposed to do questions, but we'll go ahead. Since I already did it, let's go ahead and fix it. See what we want to do.
See, here's my problem. I don't know. I could come up with some crazy harebrained thing again, but
You
I
always
even
come
then, I
up with a
can't
crazy harebrained thing, which
I know, but
you're
I
going
can't
to.
really for this one. I got so lost. I don't know that I can even hairbrain it. Like I genuinely, I think the better case for this might just be apocalyptic end of the line, last man standing, and then he finds other people kind of deal. That might fix it. But honestly, even then, that story's been done 1,000 times, 1,000 ways. I don't know if that even really fixes it. So for me, I don't know. I'll easily admit this time I don't know.
I think something that could help is when he meets up with 52, he convinces 52 to go up to the ship and take it out. And then that's kind of one of those at you guys all love those last minute things, and then the camera zooms in and then you'll see 52 on his shoulder instead of 49, or it has 49. He put a piece of the fabric over it and then the fabric falls off or something like that. I love the ending where it was
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman in the thing.
That was cool.
I was not expecting that, even though I probably should have, because there was a lot of stuff that I was expecting, but I didn't expect that. I expected her to be there, but again, that's why sometimes IMDb and these, like, I watched it on my Plex, and on my Plex it shows the characters underneath it, and then it said her daughter. And then there was another one that said her daughter, 2 times. And I was like, what? $2? What? So again, I saw the daughter. So I was like, oh, okay. So at some point she's going to have a daughter or, so again, unfortunately, sometimes our streaming stuff gives stuff away that they don't intentionally do so. I think we need a better story on what the alien actually was.
Mhm. Yeah.
What Sally was. Was it all an AI thing that the Earth did and they did it to themselves, or was it truly an alien that came? I'm thinking it was an alien that came, but they didn't really give us what it looked like. They just kind of made it like an alien AI.
Yeah.
I guess that's what it was. And if you have movies that make you say, I guess that's what it was, they didn't do a very good job telling the story. So
Yeah. They kind of started with it when he was doing the playback on the flight box. Like they started with it, but I kind of wish they would have went a little further. Like go past whenever go past where it stopped and actually show a little bit of the alien and how it got to being what it was, I feel like.
And if
Kinda
if
was
your
just-
ship is stuck in a tractor beam and then you release the back half of it, it's still the back half is still going to be stuck in the tractor beam. I mean, come on.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. It's not like it's only on this part, it's on the whole thing, most likely. I mean, I don't know, So I don't know. You want a really oddball one in there. So
Do it.
you see that coming in there, and then you all of a sudden you see Will Smith come flying in with the alien ship from Independence Day. He comes in there and blasts it all up. There you go. That's your oddball stuff, John. Something. Take another movie and kind of mash it together, or
While they're
you get
smoking the
SG-1.
cigars,
Yeah, SG-1.
It's like,
comes out
bye-bye.
there. Hey, bye. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be.
Yep.
I ain't heard no fat lady sing. Yeah,
I ain't heard no fat. The fat lady. You're obsessed with the fat lady.
you're obsessed with the fat lady. Oh man, and I took my slides off. Let me add these back on here. Anybody else got anything else? Well, so I can get to the questions here. Okay, actually, I think a lot of these are going to be applicable this week for sure. Last week, nothing was applicable to that movie. So, okay. What moral or ethical questions does the film raise about creation, life, or destiny? I think that's a big part here, especially when we're talking about clones.
I was gonna say that kind of is the whole question altogether is the cloning aspect, because I assume, and this is a bold assumption for this film, that someone down the line volunteered to be cloned, but also maybe he was just abducted and then cloned. Maybe he was selected for that. I don't know. At the end of the day, he was cloned, and I think cloning raises a lot of ethical questions, even in the modern world. I mean, we have done it already with at least an animal, right? A sheep.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're also using stem cells to technically clone. It's technically cloning organs at this point, or at least growing organs. But to me, it's still a type of cloning because you're just having them grow from stem cells. I think you get into real interesting territory overall, at least on the Christian side with humans. Christian ethics would say we're trying to play God. And genuinely, technically, in some ways we should, because we're just reflecting our image, right? Because we are the image of God by biblical standards. And so technically we're just playing into that and we're trying to create ourselves. Same reason we do things like AI and other things. It's just at what point is too far too far? I don't think this film necessarily answers that question, but I definitely think it throws it out there just by the act of cloning itself. Also, the ideas of clones knowing each other. So let's say we decide that it's okay to clone someone because, I mean, realistically, you get into the science of it, clones are going to have different personalities, even with the same DNA. They're basically twins when you really get down to it, because your environment changes a lot about who you are. So even if we decide that we're okay with cloning, then what is the ethics of clones knowing one another and interacting with one another? Like, does that mess things up? Do you get into some weird timey-wimey stuff? Is it just like, oh, I didn't know I had you in the world? Or should someone know they have a clone? I mean, I think they should. I think that one's a clear answer, but some people may say, no, you shouldn't know you have a clone. You just got cloned and you don't know about it. I don't know. There's just a lot wrapped up in the idea of a clone that I think the world may never know a clear ethical answer to, other than maybe it's just better not to. But that's, again, an opinion coming from a guy in 2026. So,
Yeah, I don't know. The ethics of that, yeah, I agree with John on that with clones. I just don't know. I don't think he asked to be cloned, because if you look at it, he was going into the alien cube, and I think the alien just took, hey, I want to go attack Earth. I'm gonna send these people, and I'm gonna just use them over and over and over until it just kept working. It was more convenience of it, but the ethical side of it, yeah, no. Clones.
I just thought of a brilliant idea for our fixing. When 49 was up there and getting ready to blast the big bad alien, he gets the original of the two and gets them released, escapes. They're able
There
to
you go.
escape,
Mm-hmm.
and then they come back to Earth, and then the original gets to meet up with his wife.
Mm-hmm.
That clears out the whole
True.
cloning and all this other weird stuff that,
how does who know who, and they know them, and thee and thou?
yeah.
That explains the drone was killing the people in the sleep pods.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, and these humans, I mean, these clones were the ones that were maintaining these drones, so I mean, I think ethically, no, obviously it wasn't ethical because it was built. Aliens came and I think they forcibly, took and made him, because there was one part where, oh gosh, man, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. When Morgan Freeman said, hey, yeah, we knew astronaut such and such, Tom Cruise was up there, and then next thing you know, we see 1,000 of him coming off the ship and just start slaughtering people, so I mean, obviously he would not have volunteered for that at all. I don't see it happening. And there's only one me. I mean, I would not want another me out there. Even if I knew them or not. I think back to the Clone Wars, the animated series and what Star Wars did, and how, like you were saying earlier, John, about how each one is different. There may be two of me, and one of them may be the introvert, and the other one may be an extrovert, or what have you. They could be polar opposites, or they could just have a few things different. Hey, one of them might have different color hair or different color eyes or whatever, but does the film actually bring questions on this? I would say the aliens didn't care. Shane, you got anything on this, or should I go to my next question?
I would just like to know more about the shared memories between the clones, because you talk about what John was mentioning about, when you have clones, there are different personalities. They're basically like twins, and I would just like to kind of dive into that a little bit deeper, because I think there'd be an even bigger storyline off of that.
Yeah. Oh, and didn't he say he was Morgan Freeman? Didn't he say he was like 16 years old or 19 years old when it started? When all the wars started? When he came? When I could have sworn that was a line on there that when he was talking to 49, originally, before they, when he was coming back to, and they were showing him the original drone or whatever. And I could have sworn he said that he was 19 years old when it started. So this had been going on for a long time. I mean, it was obvious because there was no humans around. I mean, there was so few of the human population left that, that it was going to be
Yeah.
really tough to come back from.
Remember, they said it was 60 years.
60 years. Okay, good. All right. All right, let's go to the next question here. How do characters express faith, whether in themselves or in others or in something beyond?
Well, you just said it right there with Morgan Freeman. He had faith that the commander was in there somewhere in 49. It just somehow he got him to come back. So capture him, talk to him, and then just kind of, hey, and then, all right, we will let you go. Who said it? Who he had faith that he was not just going to say, hey, send all the drones there just to take out and just go along. Like, all right, my hands are washed. I don't know nothing about it. And then,
yeah,
no,
like when 49 at first, when he was there looking for whatever it was, the 160 or whatever the other one was, where they just had the box that was beeping, and he was like, yeah, they were trying to capture me. They weren't trying to kill me, So I think that's a big part of it.
I mean, I think there's also this general idea and faith of like, oh, I can find this lady I keep dreaming about. And just that persistence. I would say that the faith and perseverance, like I trust in myself to not give up, I think is very prevalent throughout the film. What is it? It always comes up when people talk about aliens visiting Earth. The human spirit is the easy way to put it. But there's a different way to put it that makes it more fun and invigorating. But yeah, the human spirit.
All right. Is that everything on my list? I think that's everything. Yeah. All right. Well, that's our show for tonight. We are in the middle of summer, so we're kind of like we're tired.
Cruising.
we're trying to. I know, like some of us are still, like Shane's still working. John is. I mean, this week I'm working. Chad doesn't get a day off ever. It seems like, So
I'll say I'm children's pastoring, also children dadding and all that still. So work never stops. It's just I'm not at my job.
Fostering and et cetera. So anyway, we appreciate everyone for listening and watching our show. And what's our new out thing?
Crash and burn.
The Sci-Fi Guys is an independent broadcast and is not affiliated with this movie or TV series. We would love to hear from you. Please contact us by leaving a comment below or by emailing us TheseSciFiGuys@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, or share this podcast with someone else who enjoys science fiction.
Subscribe or be vaporized.